This is what cops deal with every day. Obnoxious, irrational, tiresome jerks who make everything harder than it needs to be and everything worse for themselves every step of the way. Well, we have another alleged police brutality case for the Daily Cancellation today. This week, there has been lots of outrage over a video of William McNeil Jr., 22 years old, getting his window broken and receiving a swift punch in the face during a traffic stop. As the story goes, McNeil's only crime was failing to have his headlights on during the day. And the story was accompanied by this video, which, as per tradition, only shows the alleged quote-unquote brutality, but none of the events leading up to it. Here it is.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
So we see him sitting in his car, his window is smashed, and then he gets hit in the face, and then he's dragged out of the car and arrested. Based on this video, the race hustlers have gone to work, hysterically shrieking and saying all the things you expect them to say. Speaking of things you expect, ambulance-chasing parasite Ben Crump parachuted onto the scene and is now representing McNeil. Crump put out a statement saying that, quote, what happened to William McNeil Jr. is a disturbing reminder that even the most basic rights, like asking why you've been pulled over, can be met with violence for Black Americans. McNeil was calm and compliant, yet instead of answers, he got his window smashed and was punched in the face. Now, not to spoil the ending here, but as anyone with an IQ above single digits already assumes, Crump is flat out lying. We'll get back to that in a moment. But first, here's the latest on this case from Fox News. Quote, police in Jacksonville, Florida are investigating a viral video in which an officer is seen punching a male driver in the face during a traffic stop. Footage that began circulating on social media over the weekend showed William McNeil Jr. staring at the camera on February 19th as an officer is seen smashing his driver's side window and demanding that he exit the vehicle now. The officer then strikes McNeil in the face before he dragged out of the car. Quote, in my direction, the agency immediately began both a criminal and administrative review of the officer's actions. These administrative reviews are ongoing, but the state attorney's office has determined that none of the involved officers violated criminal law. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters said Monday while releasing a longer body cam video of the incident. Waters said the arresting officer involved in the incident, whom he identified as D. Bowers, has been stripped of his law enforcement authority pending the outcome of the administrative review. So the officer has been relieved of his duty while they review the case, but they've already said that no crime occurred here on the part of the officer, at least. They also released, as you heard, the body cam footage, which shows the whole interaction, because it turns out that if you see a short clip of an altercation that only shows the moment that the altercation turns violent without any of the lead up to contextualize it, then you don't and can't really understand what happened and who is at fault. This is a lesson that every rational person in the country should have learned by now. In fact, you should have learned it about 1,000 times over. But unfortunately, there are a lot of irrational people out there, and dishonest people. So here is the body cam footage. And as you watch this, remember that Ben Crump said that McNeil was perfectly compliant. So watch this and tell me if compliant is the word you would use to describe it.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely there's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor.
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle. 25 seconds. For 94, the driver just slammed the door and locked it.
Call your supervisor.
I've already told you. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. I'm about to break the window.
All right, go for it.
Exit
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. Get on the ground. No, don't touch it. Get on the ground.
Right, compliant. Sure. Just to review, McNeil was pulled over because he didn't have his seatbelt on and he didn't have his headlights on. It's daylight, but the officer says that it's inclement weather. You can see in the background that it's overcast. McNeil refuses to provide his license and registration. He argues with the police officer, refuses to get out of the car, then he shuts and locks the car door. Compliant, we're told. Saying no and locking your door is compliance. McNeil is then told to exit the vehicle 7 times. 7 times, count them. And only after the 7th command do the officers finally break the window. They then pull him out of the vehicle and they arrest him. And after searching his car, by the way, they find marijuana, which is another detail that the outrage mob and race hustlers fail to mention. Now, I know that, you're expecting me to side with the police in this case and to display no sympathy at all for poor William McNeil Jr. And if that's what you're expecting, well, I'm here to tell you that you are exactly right. I will have no surprises for you today. I have zero sympathy for this guy. I'm on the cop's side entirely. The entire thing was McNeil's fault every step of the way, including the punch in the face, which he richly deserved. Yes, he did. The punch it's the only thing that you could even begin to argue might have been excessive. And even if it was, it's no big, okay, it's a punch in the face. He's fine. He didn't go to the hospital. He's fine. I would still give the cop, even if I thought the punch was totally out of line, definitely wrong, I would still say, all right, fine. So give the cop a slap on the wrist, put him on a desk for a day and then send him back out. It's fine. And if McNeil's crying about it, I would still say, get over it. Okay. Just get over it. But despite what you may have heard from all the legal experts on social media, police are allowed to legally use that kind of force when they're trying to gain compliance from somebody who's resisting. Actually, yeah, they are allowed to punch you in the face. I mean, you could complain about it. It shouldn't be that way, but they can. They're allowed to do that. But they don't have free reign to do it whenever they want. They can't just walk up to you on the street and punch you in the face for no reason. But in the process of trying to gain compliance, they are allowed to do that. And here's the thing you notice in the clip. It worked. Okay? McNeil refused to cooperate through the entire interaction, and then he got punched in the face. And it's comical, actually. Is the moment he got punched in the face, he immediately started obeying. He's sitting there. He's a tough guy, right? He's not listening. 7 commands, doesn't listen. They break the window, still doesn't listen. Then he gets punched in the face, and they say, put the hands up, and he goes right away, puts the hand up. If you're stressed about back taxes, maybe you missed the April deadline, or your books are a mess, don't wait. The IRS is cracking down. Penalties add up really fast. 5% per month, up to 25% just for not filing. But there's help. Tax Network USA can take the burden off your shoulders and stop the spiral before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee, a small business owner, or haven't filed in years. Messy books, no problem. They've seen it all. They know exactly how to clean it up. With direct access to powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators on your side, Tax Network USA knows how to win. You'll get a free consultation, and if you qualify, they may even be able to reduce or eliminate what you owe. More importantly, they'll help to protect you from wage garnishment or bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Call 800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Walsh to talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. Take the pressure off. Let Tax Network USA handle your tax issues for you. Why is that? Because there are some people who just won't listen until they get smacked. It's human nature, and in fact, there's a quote from the sheriff that we didn't play, but where he says that, look, sometimes it's an ugly thing. Sometimes dealing with non-compliant people, it's like it can be ugly to see, and it might upset you a little bit, might make your tummy hurt. He didn't say this part of it, but to see someone get punched in the face, but that's just, sometimes it gets a little bit ugly. That's the reality. That's human nature. Cops deal with these kinds of people every day, and William McNeil is one of them. But the punch was the result of a series of events that led up to it. And let's go back and talk about those events. McNeil was pulled over lawfully for failing to have his headlights on during inclement weather. And you could see that it's overcast, likely rainy. And that means, according to the law, if it's in most states, probably all of them, I don't know, in Florida anyway, if it's overcast and it's kind of raining off and on, you're supposed to have your headlights on. Now, have we all been guilty of driving without our headlights during the daylight when it's overcast? Sure. I've done it many times. Is it annoying to get pulled over for that reason? Yeah. Was the officer being sort of overly scrupulous and pedantic by trying to enforce this law? Sure, fine. And most of us have been there. I got pulled over for going 9 miles over the speed limit a little while ago. People go 9 miles over the speed limit all the time and don't get pulled over. I go 9 miles over the limit all the time and don't get over. I go much more than 9 miles over the limit, I'm ashamed to admit, and usually don't get pulled over. But this time I did. That's just the way it goes. Just the way it goes. So, sometimes they get, I assume, I'm willing to bet probably that that William McNeil is probably like, he's driven many times in overcast, doesn't put his headlights on, and doesn't get pulled over. Probably the first time it ever happened, which also, by the way, cuts against the idea that, it's because I'm black. Well, yeah, but you as a black man have probably done this a million times and not gotten pulled over. This time you did. But you were black all those other times too, and you didn't get pulled over then. So there must be some other explanation as to why this time you did. And look, when you get pulled over for the ticky-tack reason, which has happened to all of us, it's not an experience exclusive to black people. When that happens, it's annoying. You have two choices. One option, which is the one that I chose, and I choose every time. I've got pulled over for seatbelts before. I've gotten pulled over for various headlight and a brake light out. I mean, things like that. And so the first option, the one that I've always chosen in these situations when they happen, doesn't happen often, but when they do, is to be respectful and compliant and not argumentative. And what's likely to happen if you choose that path is that you get a warning and that's it. Like if William McNeil had just rolled down his window, or he claims he couldn't roll it down because it was broken. I don't believe that. But fine, he opens the door and he says, you didn't have the lights on. He says, I didn't realize I needed to have them on. Sorry about that. Oh, you're not wearing your seatbelt. Oh, actually I just took it off because stupid me. I apologize. If he had said that, you know what would have happened? Probably nothing. Like the cop would have said, license registration, would have run the thing. Assuming he doesn't have a warrant and he's not on a suspended license, probably nothing would have happened. They probably wouldn't even found the weed in his car. Because if he was respectful and compliant, just went along with it and didn't act super suspicious, then they'd have no reason to search and they probably would have sent him on the way. The whole thing ends up being a slightly irritating 10-minute diversion. And then you're on your way with no further consequences. Worst case, you get a small fine or citation and you could just pay it. Both of his cases, these were not moving violations. So you could just pay it to be like $50 and you'll be fine. Not even going to hit your insurance. Or if you really want to, you can go to court and plead your case. Court is the place for that. That's the great thing about living in a first world society. We actually have a specific place that exists specifically to hear your pleas. That place is not on the side of the road. It's in a court. So that's the first option. The second option, the one that McNeil chose and so many other alleged victims of alleged police brutality choose, is to argue and refuse to comply and do everything in your power to take a minor traffic violation and turn it into serious legal trouble for yourself. You can deliberately escalate a very low-stakes situation until you find yourself lying on the pavement in handcuffs. If you're at least slightly more emotionally and mentally mature than a toddler, you probably won't go with that route. You'll be able to engage in a little bit of analytical reasoning, which will tell you that if you're annoyed by a small traffic citation, you're not going to improve your situation or your mood by adding an arrest and a bunch of additional charges on top of it. Just like if you're annoyed because you accidentally stepped in a puddle and you got one of your shoes a little bit wet, you're not going to improve the situation by then jumping into a pool in all your clothes. Because now your shoe's still wet along with the rest of you. If you're annoyed by being slightly wet, don't make yourself more wet. If you're annoyed by receiving a very minor citation, don't add a bunch of other serious citations on top of it. And when the cop tells you to get out of the car, closing your door and locking it will not help anything. They're not going to say, oh, never mind. There's no way that ends. There's no way that it could possibly end except with you on the ground in handcuffs. You have now chosen a path where actually, there are other ways it could end. The best way it ends, the best available result is that you get arrested. So why? Why do that? Why go out of your way to make everything worse for yourself? Now, sure, these days, as we've seen, there's always the possibility that you get a viral police brutality incident out of it, and then you can sue and maybe make millions of dollars. But I don't think that McNeil even had that in mind exactly. Because I think that would almost give him too much credit. That would make him manipulative and immoral, but at least rational in a very self-serving way. I don't think that was his plan. I also don't think that he was staging some kind of protest against injustice. This was not civil disobedience in the way that political activists might engage in it. There was no plan. That's the thing. And there never is with these kinds of people. This is just a temper tantrum. This is like a toddler throwing a toy train across the room because he's angry that it's nap time. There's no plan or strategy. When the toddler throws the train, it doesn't make any sense for you to go, well, how do you think that that's going to mean that you don't have to take a nap? Now, all you're doing is proving to me, child, that you need a nap even more because you're throwing the train. But with my toddlers, I don't have that conversation because there is no plan. There's no rational calculation at work. And this is what cops deal with every day. Obnoxious, irrational, tiresome jerks who make everything harder than it needs to be and everything worse for themselves every step of the way. There is no way to deal with these kinds of people except by imposing your will on them. That's the only language that a guy like William McNeil Jr. understands. And that's why this is all his fault. And that is why he is today finally canceled. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.